Now that we're into the new year, I need to get that. Welcome back, everybody. It's Hutch from Hutch High Perf. Hope you enjoyed the holidays. I hope you had a merry and a happy. So now it's a new year, and I need to get back on this car. Take a little break from the engine because, of course, I'm waiting on a part. Story of my life, I don't know. So I'm going to take the time to work on the core support here. I have got to get everything mocked up with this, get it ready to go. I got to put the radiator in, check clearance, fan shroud. I bought another set of fans after some recommendations from the comments. So all that stuff has to get done. So I want to get everything mocked up before I start body working and painting all this stuff. So with no further running of my mouth, let's get cracking on this core support. So I'm kind of stuck. If you can see this, this is the stock core support bushing. And then you've got these that I picked up. I got these off of Amazon, I think. And I think they said they were 4-core radiator supports. And these are actually a little too big. And these are a little too small. Actually, though, this has a little bit of stretch. If I stretch this, it'll actually fit over it. But it's just a bit snug. Somebody leave a comment. Is there something in between this? Is there something that's like maybe a 3-core? I looked, I couldn't find. I found this and I found stock. Really couldn't find something that was just a little bit shorter than this. Anyway, I think I'm going to end up trying to make these work, at least in the mock-up stage, until I find something maybe that's a little bit more appropriate, but this will do for what we're doing here. All right, I got the bottom ones. Bumpers in place. So it's not, like I said, it's not exactly perfect, but for mock-up it's going to do. So let's get our top piece in place here. Bumpers down on this. Let's pull this thing down. All right off the bat, I can already see there's some interference in my pre-made lip. I put some marks on here. I'm going to have to bring this up a little bit just so I can that's close enough. A little squiggly. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to have to cut a little bit off of that lip because it's interfering with this top ledge. So one thing at a time. That's much better. Now I got some room here. Never mind how rough that cut looks. I'll fix that later. I'm just trying to get everything kind of mocked up now. So the way this radiator, the fan shroud is supposed to bolt on, this top portion of the radiator is hollow. And you're supposed to use the holes provided in this shroud to either like self-tap into that, or you can rivet and put it in place. I think what I may do is screw into this ledge, and then all right, I'm gonna have to trim these corners. That's not too bad. Trim that up a bit. This almost, yeah. So if I cut, I think I'll trim a little bit off the bottom here. This will go flush with this piece. If not, I can probably put like some bar stock in here. Bolt the bar stock to this and then bolt this to the bar stock. So it's flush. Let me trim it up and then see what the fitment looks like. Let's see how all my crazy cutting turned out. Oh, that did. That's good. Maybe just trim a little tiny bit more right there. That's flush with the top. Oh, hey, I think that's going to work, and it actually puts it a little farther away from the radiator than the original design. So I'm out probably an extra inch, where before this thing was like almost right on top of it. This gives a little bit of room, I guess, maybe to cause a little bit of suction. Let's see how level we are. Oh, it's about 2. She's way farther in at the top than at the bottom. I'm not sure if that's going to matter or not. Yeah, she's way fat out at the bottom. I wonder if this could go inside and then yeah, I could put something in and bolt it from the back. Let's see how that works. It's about 1 3/4, 1 1/2. That's a little bit more level. Yeah, you know, that doesn't bother me any. Okay, so now, I can just drill right into this top plate, drill into the bottom of here, and I don't know, maybe I can use a set of those little capture nuts to slide in. I think I have a bunch left over, taking the old car apart. That might work. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Okay, so if you notice these circles, let's put this down. So if you notice the circles, I actually got some comments from some people online. They're like, hey, those fans probably aren't going to be enough for that big block. And when I looked at the recommended size that you need CFM-wise for the fans, yeah, they were kind of right. The kit came with two 1200 CFM fans, and it's on the low side of being able to properly cool this thing. So just in the interest of not having to do it twice, I got a set of Derale 2000 CFM fans. I got 2 of these. Problem is, with these fans, they are larger, of course, than the ones that came with the kit. I'm going to try to still use the mounting zerks that they put in there and bolt it in that way, but I'm going to need to cut this whole thing out. This outside line is a better representation of where it is, so I kind of scribbled my line on the inside. I'm going to follow that and then check my clearance and then slowly work my way out to this until I've got it clearance where the fans. Well, I'm only 15 minutes in. I'm already on the plan B. So this isn't going to work in its current form, because when I put the Derale fan in, it's actually too close to the radiator, too close for me. So I can't. I'm going to have to move this shroud out anyway, and if I can't get that to work, I'm just going to have to make one, I guess. But I do have an idea. Okay, so I dug through my pile of stuff, and I have a 1x1 stick of aluminum, and I think that's going to work perfect. So if I get this bad boy in here, and then I use that as my mounting point, and then mount the bottom on the outside here, I think, yeah, that gets me the room I need. Still, it actually, yeah, there's almost no difference in that. That's going to work. And that's going to put the fan far enough away from the radiator. I don't have to worry about it. And gives me a little bit more room. I'm just going to have to figure out how to close off these ends just to make it more like a real shroud. But yeah, I think that's going to work. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, let's get the drill in, and then we'll see if this mock-up will actually do the job. All right, so I put the 1x1 in here. Yeah, it'll be underneath with the fan shroud. You won't even see it. All right, let's just drill the pilot holes for this. Right. So let's see. So we bolt that in. I'm going to need to open up this side in order to screw those bolts down. All right, so that needs to go straight through. And then we'll open up the other side. Open this bad boy up. There we go. Yep. What is that? All right, I think we may have gotten this part figured out. So with this spaced out, it actually centers that a lot better. Yeah. How's that look? Yeah, maybe. So this thing right now is a hodgepodge of screws, but that's fine. Once I get it mocked up, I'll just run out to the hardware store and we'll get all the same hardware for this. So if I ever have to take it off, I'm not going to need to grab how many different... Why is that thing not... Huh. One screw just did not want to line up. Had to do a little finagling. But the finagle worked out. So that is... Let me get this thing run down. So this is the shroud, at least in place. Still got some more work to do. Giant gaps on the side. So I'm going to have to close that in somehow. You know, on the old shroud, there was I got to find them. There's like these heavy rubber things. I think they went farther out, but they make replacements. I was thinking about replacing it anyway because they were kind of old, but I could actually repurpose that. I think they're long enough. I might cut them and rivet them to the side of here, and it'll fold over a little bit, and it'll give you that seal. Yeah. All right, talking out loud. Let me get one of the fans up here, and then we'll I got to figure out how to make some type of bracket to hold it on. Okay, so with the Derale fan, this is some of my issue. See how far it sticks in. It's not a lot, but it was just enough with the old mounting that I had that it didn't touch the radiator, but it was too close for my liking. So I was thinking of making some type of bracket or something to basically run this bolt down and then like clamp it to that or something. But I think in an effort to try to use those bolt holes, I'm just outthinking the project. I'm probably making too much work for myself. It's literally mounting holes right here, and I can just run these bad boys right down into our aluminum and then use like a nut and bolt. I could probably put it on that way and just be done with it without having to make all this fuss. Yeah, so I think I still got to cut out the second hole, and I've got to finish this a little bit more. It needs to widen up in a couple of spots because I'm still getting like just a little bit of drag, just enough on the lip in a couple of spots. So I just got to open up a couple of spots around here, do the second one, and then, yeah, I think I will just run down some, probably just sheet metal screws to start off with. All right, well, now I got to take this back off again to do more work. Let's see how this all fits together. I also realize that 2 screws at the top and 2 screws at the bottom are not enough, I think, for the overall weight of this. So once I'm done, it'll be easy enough to come through without the radiator in the way, because that'd be the worst thing in the world if the drill skipped off and I stabbed my brand new radiator. So once that's out, bolt the top plate back on, bolt the housing in, and I can pop a couple of extra screws, probably do like 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. That way everything stays in place, does exactly what it's supposed to. I've already identified on the holes that I cut, there's like 1 or 2 spots you may have seen in the quick view. I was marking them with a marker because I'm going to have to go back and just trim out a little bit, because like partial the way around, it's like just dragging on one little spot. Just got to trim that up a little bit. That'll be fine. Not worried about that at all. Let's get this in place. Yeah. Anyone made any New Year's resolutions? Hopefully one of them is subscribing to this channel. That would be nice. Because I know by the analytics, quite a few of you who are watching this are not subscribed. This is your opportunity. Seize the moment. All right. There it is, all together. I think that's going to work. And what do we got? Out from the radiator, less than 4 inches. 4 inches is the amount that the stock shroud fit out. So I think, yeah, this is going to, I'm not going to have any interference issues with this, not a bit. So that is very good. So there's a little spot right there where it's dragging. Anyway, that's that. Cool. I'm glad to get this mocked up because I want to start body working all this. Because once the engine goes in, I want to be able to put the core support in, because I've got to get the radiator in, because I got to figure out, just to make sure that my hose routing and everything is right for the hoses that I bought. And I'll explain that stuff later. But I just want to make sure that everything is mocked up once the engine gets in, and everything is ready to go. This needs to be at the right height. I think I had an issue with the bushings, but these frames flex a little bit, so there was a little bit of a gap between the fender and the top of the core support. But I think because the engine is not in it, the frame is just like flexed up a little bit. Once the engine is in and it's on its suspension and leveled down, it should be a little closer. But I got to get all that stuff worked out. Got to get the fenders back on, and then it's going to be fun. I'm going to build the entire engine wiring harness for like the interior, underneath the dash, the tail lights. All that stuff is in the trunk sealed off. The passenger compartment, all that is sealed off. Those wires are in really good shape, and I'll address those individually. But for the wiring harness that's underneath the engine, that thing just takes abuse. It takes like so many heat cycles you couldn't count. The plastic, a lot of the plastic connectors and stuff under there, once it goes through so many heat cycles, the plastic starts to get brittle. I'm eliminating all that. I'm replacing all the connectors unless I can't find it or I can't find a replacement. Replacing all the wires all the way from the junction block out to every single thing that it connects to. And I'm going to build the custom harness because I want to hide the harness as much as possible. GM built 1 billion of these cars, and they basically plug it in, lay the harness out on top of the engine, plug everything up, good to go. Well, everything's connected, but it looks sloppy. It looks like black spaghetti just laying on top of your engine. I hate that. So everything is going to be routed behind the fender wells, down low, up to the engine. You see, I don't like everything completely hidden because I like the mechanical aspect of like looking at everything and how it's connected, but I want that minimalized. So that'll be fun because we're going to build an entire engine harness. So first time doing that, so that ought to be good. Anyway, yeah, so that's everything together. Cool, I think that's going to work. Like I said, I just got to figure out the gaps on the side. I will either make aluminum side skirts that'll go like close to the radiator to kind of seal that area off, or I may use, like I said, there's like the rubber air dam that goes like in front of the core. I might use those because they make replacements, and I was going to buy new ones anyway. I might use those old ones and make like a rubber skirt that actually lays and would like just seal this area off. Anyway, I'll figure something out just so we get the maximum amount of pull from the fans pulling air through. And with it having a little bit of gap in there now, I think it's going to just help a little bit better than having the fans. Like the fans that came with this, and of course, you know, Cold Case made the thing, so obviously they know it works, but this radiator shroud would lay right up against the radiator, and the fans were like almost right on top of them. So I think having it back just helps create a little bit more of that pull when you come through. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm no engineer. Anyway, that's what I think. So I think I'm done. I almost forgot. Everyone has been asking me, what kind of controller are you going to use on the fans when you put them in? And here it is. It's painless. Can I get it without the glare? Painless wiring. That's their kit. 30117. Cuts on at 185, cuts out at 175. I looked at just building the entire wiring schematic myself, but I priced out the wires and the relays and the thermostatic switch, all that stuff. And really, this wasn't too much more than that. And it's all thought out. It's all in one package. It's just easier way to go, I think. It saves me some trouble, and I can just bolt the thing in, easy peasy. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, that answers that. Again, hope you guys are having a happy new year, and I appreciate you being here. Hope you take a chance right now to subscribe. There's a little button down there somewhere. You can do it. Anyway, that's it for me. This is Hutch from Hutch High Perf, wishing everyone a happy new year, and I hope everything's going well for you. So until next time, thanks for being here. See ya.